The Raider Preseason Baseball Classic now comes down to one final game as the Riverdale Raiders take on the visiting Tigers of Clewiston High School. Happy Thursday to all who are tuning in. This is Nick Rush giving you the call of tonight's action from Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. As the first pitch of this ball game is quickly approaching, it is time to give you the batting order of the Clewiston Tigers. Clewiston, they are coached by their manager, Terry Crawford. Batting first, number 4, the catcher, Seth Walker. Batting second, the first baseman, number 15, Joe Harville. Batting third, the right fielder, number 11, Chris McInshore. Center fielder, number 3, Alex Mata, is the cleanup hitter. Fifth, it's the third baseman, number 14, Juan Pena. Sixth, it's the shortstop, number 2, Jackson Moss. Number 1, the second baseman, Wyatt Dias, is 7th. In the number 8 spot, it's the pitcher, number 16, Xavier Moneros. And last in the order is the left fielder, number 13, Reed Martin. And that is your batting order for the Clewiston Tigers. The starting pitcher on the mound today for the Riverdale Raiders is the righty, Joey Johnson, making his Raider Baseball pitching debut at the varsity level. So let's see what he has to offer heading into this ball game against Clewiston. And with that being said, it's now time to introduce you to the Riverdale fielding alignment of tonight's game. From left to right in the outfield, it's Matisse Bober, Colby Davis, and Tyler Gertman. On the infield to the left side. On third, it's Tyler Prell. Daniel Kaler guarding the shortstop. At second, it's Brendan McNabb off to his left. On the first base bag, it's Connor Sekula. Trevor Peckham is your catcher in tonight's action. Joey Johnson throwing the balls and strikes from the bump once again. And Johnson on the mound, he is throwing the last of his warm-ups as Seth Walker is now approaching the left side of the batter's box. And we're just about ready to go from Pringle Field once again. Nick Rush giving you the call of the game right here on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Remember that you can tune in to each and every home game right here online for the Riverdale varsity baseball team. So the second and final preseason game has arrived in the Raider Baseball Preseason Classic. Opening pitch is on the way. That's low for a ball one. 7:05 p.m. first pitch start time as we are set and ready to go. Johnson gets the signal from Peckham. Leg whip and fire, and there's the first strike of the action. 1 ball and 1 strike to Seth Walker. Time called here by Seth Walker as he takes a few moments to just settle down. And he quickly gets back in, just underway here at the top half of the first. Nothing between the Raiders and the Tigers of Clewiston. And this is a nice looper out to shallow center field. It's your first hit of the game. Seth Walker gets on first to start things for the Tigers.
Batting next for the Tigers, first baseman number 15, Joe Harville.
Joe Harville follows up next. He is dressed in the Clewiston Road light blue uniforms. Yellow numbers on the front and back. They also have the yellow script Clewiston across the chest. Gray pants with the dark blue stripe rolling down both sides. And they are sporting white and blue batting hats. As the opening pitch here to Harville is batted back to the safety netting. 0-1. Raiders, on the other hand, they are suited up in their garnet red. White numbers on the front and back. White script Raiders across the chest. Gray pants. Seems like almost every player out there on the field right now for the Raiders, they are sporting the high socks, and all of them have the garnet red caps. White script R fixed on the center for Riverdale. count tied up at 1 apiece here for Harville with one down at the knees. Harville prepares as the 1-1 comes his way. Nice hack and a miss throw over the first here to check up on the runner Seth Walker. He is back in time with a dive, and he will make his way over to second due to a throwing miscue. Connor Sekula over on first, threw it right over the head of the pitcher Joey Johnson, a very unfortunate mistake. That puts Walker into scoring territory, and out comes the Raider manager, Bob Pringle. And the infield will gather in with the pitcher Joey Johnson to just reassess the situation very early on. Once again, just underway at the top half of the first, 0-0 score. 1 on, 1 out for the Tigers of Clewiston High School.
Also, should you need to use the restroom, all the way down the left field line.
Another nice crowd out here at Pringle Field for another preseason game. Down to right field line where the Raider fan section is located. It is packed out there, just a few select seats remaining. Down the left field line, quite a few Clewiston fans have came out as well. So we are back to action. Joe Harville facing a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Or excuse me, 1-2 rather. If you weren't tuned into Tuesday night's game, then you may be surprised to know that we do not have a working scoreboard out here at Pringle Field, so we'll just keep the stats up here in the press box. 1-2 is a big swing and a bigger miss. Joe Harville goes down with a swinging K in the scorebooks. That brings up Chris McIntyre. The 3 men due up here in the first for Clewiston. They're all righties. Opening deal to McIntyre, comes back here towards the press box. Strike 1.
Coach Reader.
Seth Walker remains very patient over on second, taking a very large lead off, and now he's caught in a rundown between second and third. Walker's jogging. There's a bobble by Prell. Prell is going to try to track him down. Now here's a throw over to McNabb, and finally McNabb is able to get him down on the dirt for the tag. And there's your second out here at the top of inning number 1. Bags now cleared for Clewiston. And just before that throw from the pitcher Joey Johnson over to Daniel Kaler on second, Seth Walker was clapping his hands, taking that very large lead off, and he just didn't have enough of a reaction time. Strike on the way to McIntyre. 0-2 pitch coming up here in just moments for McIntyre. Joey Johnson hoping to retire the sides with no damage done here by the Tiger bats. This is bolted down the third base side. Johnson picks it up, hurls to first, and the throw is in time. It beat out McIntyre by about a step. A nice 1-3 put out to end the top half of the first. No runs are scored. It's 0-0. Bottom of the first on the way after this break on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. We have approached the home half of your first inning, 0-0 score in this preseason high school baseball contest. First pitch, low and away to Daniel Kaler, the leadoff man for the Raiders at the top of the order. It's time to give you the Raider batting order after this pitch. Count advances to 1-1 as this just sneaks into the inside corner. So Daniel Kaler batting first, shortstop number 1. After him, it's Tyler Gertman, the right fielder number 14. Third, it's Matisse Bober, the left fielder, number 8. Count 2-1 as this gets down at the legs of Kaler. And there's a strike 2. Tyler Prell is the cleanup hitter, the third baseman, number 7. Fifth, it's Jeremiah Dunnick, the DH, number 23. More in just a moment. Kaler lights this through the left side of the infield, and the leadoff base hit for the Riverdale Raiders puts Kaler on first base.
Your next Raider batter, right fielder number 14, Tyler Gertman.
Batting 6, it's the catcher number 2, Trevor Peckham. Connor Sekula, the first baseman number 15, is 7th. In the 8th spot, it's Brendan McNabb, second baseman number 3. And finally, it's Colby Davis, the center fielder number 17, batting last. Tyler Gertman gets a nice opening pitch, strikes at it, but he can't put in the fair play. It's time to give you the Clewiston fielding alignment. From left to right in the outfield, it's Reed Martin, Alex Mata, and Chris McIntyre. Gilberto Guzman over on third. Or excuse me, that is going to be Juan Pena. Gilberto Guzman was actually originally scheduled in the starting lineup, but he was scratched at the plate just before the game. So it's going to be Juan Pena once again over at third. Here's a strike and a throw over the second. Daniel Kaler is in time with a stolen base and a nice slide feet first. Over at the shortstop, it's Jackson Moss. On second, it's Wyatt Dios. And on first, it's Joe Harvin. This is a bouncer down the first base side, and that will not remain on the playing field for too long. It's a foul ball. So Joe Harville on first, Seth Walker behind the plate, collecting the balls and strikes from the Clewiston starting pitcher Xavier Maderos. So Kaler on second for the Raiders. No outs, no score here at the bottom of the first between Riverdale and Clewiston. Nice high fly ball out the center field and a huge, beautiful diving catch out at center. That's what they call a basket catch, and Alex Mata does some magic out there. Tyler Gertman
Now batting for the
is out number 1.
Left fielder number 8, Matisse Bober.
So Matisse Bober has hopes of driving Daniel Kaler over to third and maybe even home if things go well. Takes one high and dry for ball 1. Xavier Maderos, the starting pitcher for Clewiston. He's a right-hander, not wasting too much time at all in between deals as he fires in a strike 1 across home plate. 1-1. Bober showing a good eye here as this pitch is way outside. Ball 2. Matisse Bober, yet again, not to be confused with his brother, Mason Bober. They both saw action in the batter's box in last Tuesday night's game. 3-ball, 1-strike count as this next one bounces in the dirt. Chipper to the second baseman. The deal over the first, right in time. 2 down for the Raiders with a 4-3 on Matisse Bober. That brings up the cleanup hitter, Tyler Prell.
Next batter for the
Daniel
Raiders,
Kaler able to slide over to third base on that ground ball.
Prell.
In last Tuesday night's game, the Raiders were able to come back from a 3-run deficit to beat out Cape Coral, the Seahawks, by a 5-4 final decision. It was a walk-off at the bottom of the 7th. Prell rocks the first pitch outside of the complex down the first base line. It went over the Raider dugout down right field. Down left, that is where Clewiston will be tending their benches throughout the night. Leg whip and fire comes very close, inches within Prell. Count deadlocked at 1 apiece. And it was a very unusual ending to that game for the Raiders. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. Very familiar here. Tyler Prell was at the plate. Kaler was over on third with 2 outs at the bottom of the 7th as Prell now faces a 1-2 at the plate. But there was a balk committed against Cape Coral. That brought home Kaler from third to score. And it led to a Raider victory. Here's a nice fly ball, and it goes straight into the back of the glove of Wyatt Dios. There's out number 3 as Kaler is stranded over on third. Still scoreless at the end of 1 full. Alex Mata steps into the left hand of the box for Clewiston as we have no runs here in this ball game. Top of the 2nd is on the way as the new pitcher on the mound for Riverdale is number 23, Jeremiah Dunnick. The righty throws in a first pitch ball 1 to Mata, the center fielder for Clewiston. Second deal on the way, just barely gets in by a thread for strike 1. This right here is what preseason baseball is all about. All of the players get out onto the field. Everybody gets a shot. So it's always a great thing to see as ball 2 comes in low and dry. (2-1) coming here in just moments. Count advances to 3 balls. Seems like Dunnick is trying to target that lower area of the strike zone. And now Mata is just 1 outside pitch away from a free ride to first. Let's see if he's able to get it. Well, not just yet, as this is planted to the backstop. Count now full. And when you get all the players out there onto the field, it leads to many different position changes, and we're here at the top half of the 2nd, and the Raiders already have their 2nd pitcher of the ball game. Here's a walk coming on the way here to Alex Mata as a wild pitch spirals right past the Raider catcher, Trevor Peckham.
Next batter.
Juan Pena is batting 5th for Clewiston. And back in Tuesday night's game, we saw a variety of pitchers get out there for both Riverdale and Cape Coral. In that game where once again Riverdale won by a 5-4 final score, pitch just gets wide for ball 1 on Pena. Riverdale, to be exact, on Tuesday night, they brought 5 pitchers out onto the field. Cape Coral had 4 by the end of 7 complete innings, and where the game ended with a walk-off balk. The second whip and fire just gets right down the center of the plate. The 4, 5, and 6 spots, rather, are due up here to begin your second inning of action. Here's a fire over the first base from Dunnick to the first baseman for the Raiders, Connor Sikula, who tries to apply a tag down on Mata, a runner on first base for Clewiston. And Mata read that entire play as he is back with much room to spare. Still a 0-0 score, top of the second yet again. Nick Rush giving you the call here on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network from Pringle Field at RHS. Another one on the way. Peckham loses control of it to the backstop. The ball will roll. It's a passed ball in the scorebooks as Mata is able to run straight to second. No dive or slide necessary. And Clewiston, for the second time of the ball game, they're able to get a runner in scoring territory over on bag number 2. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike. To Juan Pena. He'll stroke this down to first base side. And that heads towards the fan area. Look out. Foul ball. Ties us up. Deuces wild. 2-2. Dunnick rips a fastball right past Juan Pena. He swings. He won't find connection. That's a forwards K down on Pena for his first at-bat of the matchup. Jackson Moss will now follow up. 1 on, 1 down for the Clewiston Tigers. Jeremiah Dunnick, the pitcher on the mound for the Raiders right now. Back in Tuesday night's game, he was quite successful at the plate. Opening pitch is fouled off. Well, Dunnick served as a first baseman 2 nights ago, and he went 2 for 2 at the plate versus Cape Coral. In the second inning of that matchup, he hit a 2-bagger in the second, and in the 5th, he hit a single. In the starting lineup of this action, Dunnick was listed as a designated hitter. And here he is as a pitcher on the bump. Looks over at second and launches it home, and that's way over the head of the catcher, Trevor Peckham. The 1-1 coming here in just moments. Peckham crouches down. The deal comes right to him, but it's hammered away. Another dead ball. 1-2. Now Trevor Peckham, this is his first season at the varsity level. He is in his junior year with RHS. And typically you see Tyler Prell out there in the catching position, but yet again, it's the preseason, and you have guys out there trying a variety of positions. So, hey, Coach Pringle thought, why not put Peckham out there as a catcher? Prell over on third, and he is the one who was able to track down this fly ball off to the left side of the infield, and F5 is slapped down in the books for Jackson Moss.
Your next Tiger batter is second baseman number 1, Wyatt Dias.
Wyatt Dias. Now hoping to keep the top half of the second rolling for the Tiger Bats. Neither team has scored at this point of the game at the top of inning number 2. 1 on and 2 outs yet again. Alex Mata has been over on second for what certainly seems like forever, and he's keeping a very modest leadoff over there. Wyatt Dias chips it towards the press box area. We are right behind the safety netting behind the dugout, or behind the backstop, I should say. So we feel nice and safe up here, that's for sure. This comes low and away as Dias remains patient. Mata's able to get over the third there on that previous launch by Dunnick. And he could possibly represent the go-ahead run here for Clewiston that would draw first blood for CHS. Here's the draw from Jeremiah Dunnick. It's laced left side of the infield from Kaler to first, and there's a nice way to end things. A runner gets on third, but nothing else comes out of it. It's still a 0-0 situation as we head to the bottom of the second. The current Raider pitcher, Jeremiah Dunnick, will start things off at the home half of the second as the Raiders and the Tigers have drawn it out to a 0-0 tie still at this point. Leg whip and fire coming into Dunnick as he watches the ball one drift right past him. Xavier Madero still on the mound for Clewiston in his second inning of work. He'll tie up the count at 1 apiece. Count now 2-1. Jeremiah Dunnick, one thing you really have to like about him is that he can really draw things out at the plate. He's a guy that really knows how to just battle it out against a pitcher. Now he's drawn up with 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he will wait, and whoa, that got him right off the head. He had to take a moment to shake that off. It went right off the helmet. And he's still standing in the batter's box. I'm wondering if it hit him or if he's just still shaking it off. He's still in the box, so it looks like that did not make connection with him. Visually, from right behind home plate, however, it certainly looked like it hit him in the helmet. Perhaps it just took an odd deflection off of the catcher, Seth Walker. Count now full with one that goes right over his head. Either way, very scary situation there. Payoff pitch is a hack and a miss. Jeremiah Dunnick goes down swinging. 1 down.
Batting for your Raiders, catcher number 2, Trevor Peckham.
And Trevor Peckham comes up for his first at-bat of the ball game.
Trevor Peckham. Trevor Peckham. Something.
Peckham is a lefty. Opening deal comes over his head. He is convinced to swing at the second one, but doesn't get a good target behind it. And he'll blast it right to the safety netting, which has seen quite the action thus far here in this ball game. Another one on the way. He swings and can't get anything going still. This just gets on the outside corner. Nice weather here in tonight's ball game. Very nice and cool. 66 degrees. Wind is blowing very gently from left to right at 4 miles per hour. As a pitch just gets too far down. Count is now full. 52% humidity here in Southwest Florida, and there is no chance of rain at Pringle Field for the night. And there's a base on balls for Trevor Peckham.
Now batting for the Raiders, first baseman number 15, Connor Sekula.
So 1 on, 1 out for the Raiders, and Connor Sekula will be the third man due up here at the bottom of the second. Still no score. Courtesy runner over on first base, and we will determine who that is here in just moments. This is pulled towards home plate, and Sekula just watches it go right into the catcher's mitt of Walker. We can't see that runner over on first. We can't see his number. And here he is taking over the second. We see him taking off, and that's going to be number 4. Michael Connor. Michael Connor saw some action on the base pads on Tuesday night's contest as well. Running the base pads, taking advantage of a pass ball. It's a looper to the third baseman. The deal across the diamond. It's in time. And Connor using those quick legs to stretch the bag number 3. So Connor Sekula gets retired with a 5-3. Brendan McNabb hoping to seal the deal by putting the Raiders on top.
Second baseman number 3, Brendan McNabb.
He attempts to signal for a bunt, pulls back at the last moment, and that does not meet the strike zone. A little bit of a do-or-die situation here for Brendan McNabb, with 2 outs and a runner over on third. He can either put a runner on, or out number 3 will come along, unless if he gets on first by a hit by a pitch or a base on balls. Next one knocks in the dirt. 2-0 to McNabb. He is the 8th batter in the 9-man order for the Raiders. Very similar to Tuesday night's game against Cape Coral. The lineups of each and every game are put together by the Riverdale head coach and manager Bob Pringle. Flicked backwards, another dead ball. Seems like Riverdale, they're a very edgy team here in this meeting. Right now they need to settle down, and we talked about this on Tuesday evening as well. It can be very difficult deciding, hey, do you want to swing at this pitch or watch it go by, because you only have a split second to do it. But hey, it's all about the practice. Baseball is a game of practice, as the 3-2 comes by to haunt McNabb looking. That's a backward strikeout. Connor stranded on third. Nice effort there by the Raiders, but they come up short. And we still have no score. Inning number 3 on the way from Pringle Field. Clewiston pitcher Xavier Medeiros is your leadoff batter to start inning number 3. We are scoreless between Riverdale and Clewiston and high school baseball action in the preseason stage. Jeremiah Dunnick back on the bump. Second inning of hurling. The open fire to plate. Ball 1. The next one is a nice heater that just misses down low. 2-0 count to Medeiros. Jeremiah Dunnick looks very relaxed, calm and collected, taking some time in between his deals to get some communication flowing with his catcher, Trevor Peckham. You can now count it 3 balls and no strikes. All 3 pitches were very low. Medeiros looking for a walk. Does he get it? Yes, he does. 4 pitches. Puts Medeiros over on first to lead things off here in your third. The number 9 batter in the Clewiston order, Reed Martin, steps up and in. Courtesy runner on the way to first for the Tigers. Jonathan Deese will be the runner.
Next batter for the Tigers, left fielder number 13, Reed Martin.
So it's Reed Martin yet again. Clewiston, they're trying to bounce back after their previous exhibition meeting. It was here at Riverdale High School as a part of the Raider Preseason Baseball Classic. Here's the opener to Martin. Wise decision there as he pulls back for a ball 1. Well, Clewiston, it was a rough one. They were blown out by the Estero Wildcats 15-0. But yet again, these are exhibition ball games, and they can really give a team an advantage to really work out the kinks of the offseason to prepare them for the upcoming regular season. Medeiros with a hack and a miss advances the count to 3-1. Or Reed Martin, I apologize. Another one just barely misses from down low here to Reed Martin at the dish. Xavier Medeiros just moments ago took a 4-pitch walk. Dias is taking his place over at first as a runner. Another yank over to bag number 1 by Jeremiah Dunnick. No change there as Dias remains confident. Very quick and speedy. It's zip to zip here at the top of the third. One of these teams trying to draw first blood. Reed Martin takes a nice rip at it. No can do. Count is full yet again. Jeremiah Dunnick, thus far on the night, has 1 strikeout after he came into the game, and your second. Raider pitching staff overall, they have 2 strikeouts on the night. 1 in the first from the starting pitcher, Joey Johnson, and the second one to Dunnick. And it seems as if Dias over on first is really being a distraction to Dunnick. He just stepped off the mound. He's constantly throwing over the first. It's clear Dunnick's a bit uncomfortable here. So here's your full count. Chip down the first base side. Is it fair? No, it will not be. Very close call. It was a matter of inches down that chalk on the first base line. So another payoff coming up in just a few moments here. Nick Rush giving you the call on the Riverdale Baseball Broadcast Network. Thus far at this point in the action, it seems like a nice back and forth contest here between these two as an exhibition game. Bouncer on the infield, second for 1, first for 2 will not happen. So The Raiders get one out over at second to keep the Tigers away from scoring territory, but there will still be a runner on first as a result of the mishap. Joe Harville will come next.
Courtesy runner for the catcher, now running at first base, number 7, Ernesto Guerra. Batting for the Tigers, first baseman number 15, Joe Harville.
So Joe Harville, yet again, up next, 0 for 1 on the night with a swinging strikeout back in the first. The opening offering to him, he will not take. That's a ball. Ernesto Guerrero is the courtesy runner over at second base. Yet again, we were just trying to see his number over on first base, and it is number 7, Guerrera. He's able to storm his way over to second base off of a great steal. Trevor Peckham, the Raider catcher at the plate, just didn't have nearly enough time to take action. So Joe Harville, nice opportunity here. Swing and a miss. That's strike 1 for him. Clewiston last season, they finished 2016 with a 9-win, 12-loss overall record with no playoff appearance. These two teams did square off last year as Riverdale beat the Tigers 5-2 back on March 18th at Clewiston High School. Chris McIntyre in the on-deck circle for Clewiston down left field as Harville leans back in, facing a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Pitch number 3 coming his way, and it's just shy of the zone. Ball 2. And I've been able to talk to plenty of these Riverdale players throughout the past couple of weeks. And let me tell you something, these kids, they are very excited about the upcoming regular season. Here's Guerrera trying to hustle his way over to third, and he'll have to make his way back to second as this is way out of the complex off the bat of Harville. The count is evened up with deuces. And many players have even competed in different sports throughout the baseball offseason. More on that in just a moment. 2-2 deal coming home. Smoked through over second base. No throw will be made, and it's coming home. Is it in time? Yes, it is. Trevor Peckham absolutely robbed the runner Guerrera over on third to keep this scoreless. On the way to the bottom of the third. Great defensive display there by the Raiders. More after this. Colby Davis seeing his first action at the dish on the night. Bottom of the third is right here at Pringle Field at Riverdale High School as we have a scoreless tie between CHS and RHS, Clewiston and Riverdale. Opening pitch strike handed out to Davis. 0-1 way outside to tie the count. Still up on the mound for Clewiston is Xavier Moneros, there. Count 2-1. Seems like Moneros is really aiming towards the high area of the strike zone. Meanwhile, the current Riverdale pitcher, Jeremiah Dunnick, he's the exact opposite. He's trying to go down low towards the dirt. And this time, Moneros, he just had Davis chasing there as he picks up his second strike of the at-bat. Davis, another left-handed hitter, standing straight up tall, bat over his left shoulder, and he takes a strike three looking. First out here at the home half of the third.
Now batting for the Raiders, he's the shortstop, number 1, Daniel Kaler.
That was the second, or third rather, strikeout of tonight for Xavier Moneros on the mound. He picked up 2 in the second with Jeremiah Dunnick and Brendan McNabb, and one right there, courtesy of Colby Davis. So back to the order we go with Daniel Kaler, who starts off 1-0 on his second at-bat of the game. Second pitch. High line drive out to center field, stays in the air, and it's bobbled by the center fielder, Mata. So Daniel Kaler zips straight to second with a stand-up. That's an E8 in your scorebooks.
Your next Raider batter, right fielder, number 14, Tyler Gertman.
So Tyler Gertman has some good news to walk up to the plate to, with Kaler just catching a little bit of luck there. It was just a nice pop fly, and it was heading straight towards Alex Mata out at center field, but he just couldn't get the job done. And this pitch gets the ribs of Tyler Gertman. All it took was one pitch to put Gertman on first. Now 2 on for the Raiders, and 1 out at the bottom of the third.
Matisse Bober.
No score here in this game just yet. Bober has the power to change that, however. Very close call here, but it's registered as a ball 1 by the home plate umpire. High line drive out to right field. It's way foul, heading towards the wall. My goodness. Talk about a beautiful whack of the bat by Matisse Bober, giving that ball a ride all the way out to the right field wall, but it was nowhere near fair territory, very unfortunately. Another one on the way here to Bober. Down and away. Two and 1 count right now to Matisse Bober. 0 for 1 on the night with a ground out to second. Here's another nice one out to right field. It gets down at the wall. And this should be a run. It could be 2. There it is. It's 1-0. It's now 2-0. How about that? A 2-run RBI triple for Matisse Bober that sends home Daniel Kaler and Tyler Gertman to score. Riverdale leads 2-0 at the bottom of the third.
After the triple by Bober, your next batter, third baseman, number 7, Tyler Prell.
Tyler Prell hoping to keep up the momentum here for RHS. Matisse Bober, what an RBI. That crack of the bat was very similar to the one just moments ago where he just sailed the ball foul. This time he had much better luck, and straight to third he goes. It was a stand-up triple, certainly not something that you see every day. Tyler Prell begins this at bat 1-0. Another one to the opposite end of the zone, 2-0. Prell is the fifth batter of this half inning. And now we're going to have a brief meeting on the mound between the catcher Walker and Xavier Moneros on the mound. However, it won't take up too much time as Seth Walker is already back in his position, back behind home plate. So Moneros just needed a quick moment there to reassess the situation and just get calmed down a bit. And when it comes to a pitcher, well, this is a big one. It's smoked out to left center field. It's caught, but there is a score. Very productive home half of the third here by the Raiders. Matisse Bober, he brings two across with a swing of the bat, and he is driven home here off of a sac fly by Tyler Prell.
Batting next for your Raiders, here comes number 23, Jeremiah Dunick.
So as a result of that event, you can now make it a 3-run advantage for the Raiders. Jeremiah Dunick now has the bases empty as he takes a ball one close to his jersey. Alex Maddow was all over that one out in center field, able to make the catch, but couldn't make the throw on the infield nearly in enough time as he was towards the warning track. Hack and a miss here for Dunick. 1-1. Gets inside. 1-2. Dunick leaning in close to the plate. He takes a rip at one. Can't find connection, so down he goes with a punch out. But what an inning. 3 runs come across the plate for the Raiders. They score first, and they are up 3-0 over the Tigers of Clewiston High School. Inning number 4, here we come from Riverdale High School. The 3, 4, and 5 spots are due up to begin your 4th inning for the Tigers as they are down 0-3 against the Riverdale Raiders. McIntyre rips and misses. Strike 1 against a new pitcher on the mound for the Raiders. The third one on the night thus far, number 15, Connor Sekula, who previously played first base for the Raiders in the starting lineup. Second one on the way. Just gets wide, and the fans and the Raider fan section certainly do not approve of that one bit. It was a very nice curveball. Looked like it just got in on the upper corner there, but the official says no can do. Leg whip and fire. It's another miss there by McIntyre. That's his second strike. Now filling in at first base for RHS is Nelson Smith, seeing his first action in the field for the night. Sekula looking for a strikeout, and he's able to get it. Down looking goes Chris McIntyre.
Batting next for the Tigers, left fielder number 3, Alex Mata.
Alex Mata steps in for his second meeting at the plate on the night. Back in the second, he took a base on balls. Delayed reaction there by Mata as he just chips it off the thin end of the bat. Down the first base line, it's a dead ball. And now we have a break in the action here. Down the third base line, you have Mata with a little bit of a meet with Terry Crawford,
Reminder fans, Raider Baseball,
who is standing behind third base, and he is the Clewiston manager.
Tuesday.
So that meeting is quickly broken up, and back comes McIntyre. The righty with a slight crouch, trying to make the strike zone a bit smaller. Leg whip and fire. Gets down in the dirt. Took a deflection off the chest plate of Trevor Peckham, the Riverdale catcher. Another one coming on the way for McIntyre. Big swing and a huge miss there. Once again, it's just a delayed reaction for Alex Mata. Off to a hot start on the mound is Connor Sekula, as this is another one shipped away in front of the Raider dugout. Mata facing 2 strikes yet again, and Sekula's looking for back-to-back punch-outs to start the top half of the 4th. Connor Sekula, this is his first pitching segment of the preseason, and another controversial call comes across here by the home plate umpire. We are right behind home plate, and it looked like, yet again, a matter of inches, but that ball was just outside by a thread. Millimeters, you could almost say. We have a full count. This goes back up, straight to Sekula as he plays off the one hop. He'll go with an underhand throw over to Smith at first. Out number 1, here to begin inning number 4. Or out number 2, to be exact. Juan Pena up next.
Batting next for the Tigers, third baseman number 14, Juan Pena.
Juan Pena begins 1-0. A little bit of a breaking ball being tossed in there by Sekula. Count evened up as this is fouled off right on home plate. 1-1. And this is really the interesting thing about high school baseball. You just don't see it nearly as much in college baseball or in the pros. But here in high school baseball, it's not unusual at all to see a position player, for example, in the outfield or in the infield, come up to the mound every once in a while to throw a few innings for the team. It's something different. Here's a throwing error coming from Brendan McNabb, the Raiders' second baseman. And Juan Pena gets lucky and gets a visit to first base. So that's an E4 against McNabb on the infield. Inning keeps rolling for Clewiston at the top half of the 4th. Raiders lead by 3 runs. Jackson Moss now hoping to extend Juan Pena around the base paths. That was the first error on the evening for the Raider fielding unit. Count begins 1-0 to Moss. Only one error that will go against Clewiston here up to this point in the action. And that was an error out to center field. Whirl, twirl, and hurl misses way up. 2 balls and no strikes to Jackson Moss. We are now over an hour into this ball game. First pitch was right on time at 7:05 p.m. It is currently 8:12 here in Fort Myers, Florida at Riverdale High School. And we are now in your beginning portions of your 4th inning of action in the 7-inning ball game of the preseason. Second of 2 preseason battles for both teams, from the shortstop to the second base. That brings you to the conclusion of the top of the 4th. No runs come through for Clewiston, and they are still down 0-3 against the Raiders of Riverdale High School.
Pekka!
The bottom of the fourth has arrived at Riverdale High School. Trevor Peckham starting things off in the box. Ball one to start his at-bat. And a new pitcher is beginning his appearance on the night for Clewiston. Throws his first strike of the ball game there. It's Wyatt Dice, number 1. To start the game, he was the second baseman in the defensive alignment to begin the game. He is taking over for the starter, Xavier Maneros, who threw 3 total. Ball 2 comes low. Trevor Peckham, in his one other at-bat on the evening, he took a base on balls. Count 1 and 2, swing and miss.
Come on, Trevor.
Xavier Maneros, the former pitcher on the mound for Clewiston, he is taking over at second base at the old position of Dice. There's an out. It was a small chipper down the first base side, and the Clewiston catcher,
number 15,
Walker, just scooped it up before it tripped foul. Made a simple toss over the first base to Joe Harville,
Trevor never made a move. He just stood
who just was able to break down the play by stepping on the bag. And Trevor Peckham, he just, when that was bouncing down first base line, he did not take off the first. And of course, you can tell he was just waiting for it to go foul, but Clewiston, they're just not going to sit there and wait. They want to get that out, so you just have to be prepared to take off during times like that. A ball comes right outside here to Connor Sekula, the next batter up for the Raiders. This is another one outside. 3-1 count here for Connor Sekula, hoping to get on base for the first time of the night. And he does exactly that. Ball 4 comes across. Sekula is on base. 1 up, 1 down.
Standing next for the Raiders, your second baseman, number 3, Brendan McNabb.
Raiders lead 3-0 over the Clewiston Tigers at the bottom of the fourth. Raiders hoping to extend that with Brendan McNabb now marching up from the on-deck circle on the first base side.
Courtesy runner at first, number 4, Connor.
Courtesy runner over on first base will be Michael Connor. This is his second time of the ball game where he has served as a courtesy runner. On the last time, he made his way over to third base, but he was left there after the sides were retired. Brendan McNabb begins 1-0. Second pitch also will not make the strike zone either. 2-0. Now a pitcher-catcher meeting on the mound between Walker and Wyatt Dice once again in his first inning of work. Xavier Maneros, the starting hurler for Clewiston. He threw 2 innings without any runs scored by the Raiders, but finally Riverdale exploded at the home half of the third with 3 runners coming across the plate. Here's Michael Connor. Speed kills. He goes straight in the second with a dive. No problem. 3-0 as the last pitch knocked in the dirt. Very good situation here for Brendan McNabb. Takes a jab at this one coming by, but he's too late. 3 balls and 1 strike. This is a ball that is tipped foul right in front of the Tiger dugout, down left field. Count now full here for Brendan McNabb, as taking a very nice lead off over on second is Connor. This is his third year with the Raider baseball program, spent the past 2 years at the JV level, however. Full count, gets in, hack and a miss by Brendan McNabb, sits him down. 2 outs here for the Raiders as Colby Davis is the next man up.
17, Colby Davis.
Dice starts off Davis with a 1-0 count. Raiders still up by 3 runs. We are at the home half of the 4th in this preseason ball game between Riverdale and Clewiston.
Missed him on the tag.
Oh, how about that? Michael Connors steals third base, and that was a huge mistake there by Juan Pena, the Clewiston third baseman. Walker, the catcher, made the throw over to third with perfect timing, but Pena slipped up on the dirt, stomach down, and he missed Connor on the tag, even though he was way behind there on that play. So Connor gets lucky, dodging the tag, leaping over Pena on the ground. And for the second time of the ball game, Connor's over on third, still looking to cash in on his first run of the night.
3 balls, no strikes.
3 balls and no strikes to Colby Davis. Ball 2 was on that play where Connor stole, and he just took ball 3. And there's ball 4. Now runners on the corners. Colby Davis takes a walk.
Batting next for your Raiders, shortstop. He's number 1, Daniel Kaler.
Back to the top of the order we go with Daniel Kaler. It's always exciting when the Raiders get runners on the corners, because one thing that the manager Bob Pringle does, more on that in a moment, this is a streaker out to right field. It's caught. Well, Coach Pringle, he sets up a little bit of a trick play with runners on the corners, but he won't have to worry about that now. Alex Matta makes the catch out in center field to retire the sides, and Michael Connor, he gets stuck over on third yet again, second time of the ball game. Raiders still lead by 3. More to play after this with your 5th inning. Wyatt Dice comes to the plate as we are underway for your top half of the 5th inning, where the Raiders are up over the Tigers 3-0. Dice takes a whack and a miss at his opening pitch, 0-1, as Connor Sekula is back up on the mound. Second inning of work for Sekula. Third pitcher of the night for the Raiders. 0-1 coming up on the way here for Dice. Does it stay fair? It's down the third base on the line, but it doesn't stay alive. So a foul ball makes it a no ball, 2 strike count to Wyatt Dice. This is Nick Rush giving you the call on the Riverdale Raiders Broadcast Network. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's preseason ball game. 3 pitches is all it takes. Dias goes down, trying to wave at the pitch. Doesn't make a connection. Swinging strikeout.
Your next batter, number 12, Orlando Rodriguez for the Tigers.
Orlando Rodriguez gets into the left hand of the batter's box as his first at-bat of the night, as a pinch hitter takes a strike 1 up and in. Remember that you can tune in to each and every Raider varsity baseball home game right here online, and it really is going to be an Exciting upcoming season here for the Raiders, just by the talent and the skill that they have been displaying with their athletes throughout this 2-game preseason. Pitch goes over the head of Trevor Peckham. That's a ball 1. 1-2 deal on the way. It's stroked. Out to shallow right field it goes. And Orlando Rodriguez off to a quick start with a 1-bagger. And that was just a
next batter for the Tigers,
very unfortunate play there for the Raider infield. Trying to make a dive after it was Brendan McNabb. And he was right where the dirt meets the grass near second base, but he couldn't get in the back of his glove. Tyler Gertman came out from right field. He even tried to scoop it up and throw it over to the first baseman, Nelson Smith, but no can do. Rodriguez was just worlds ahead on that play, as he is now a base runner over on first. Reed Martin follows up at the plate. First pitch, ball 1. No stats are counted here in the preseason. Count now 2-0. These are games just meant to warm up the teams involved in the Raider Baseball Preseason Classic. But Riverdale is 1-0 if you do want to count stats from their previous exhibition ball game on Tuesday night. They defeated Cape Coral 5-4, 3 balls and no strikes, with this one coming inches away from Reed Martin, the batter. Riverdale came back from a 3-run deficit, tied it up at the home half of the 6th, and came back for a walk-off victory at the bottom of the 7th, as a base on balls will be ruled here to Reed Martin. Rodriguez shuffles his way over the second. 2 men on base for Clewiston.
Number 4, Seth Walker.
The number 1 batter in the order, Seth Walker, moves his way on up. And there was a walk-off balk that Riverdale was able to take advantage of. Daniel Kaler was over on third base, and a balk was delivered against the Cape Coral fielding unit. So Kaler came home to score the winning run. Well, earlier in the game, we were talking about how some of these players participated in other sports throughout the baseball off-season over the previous couple of months of the winter. Seth Walker currently trying to get something going for Clewiston. The team is down by 3 runs to Riverdale, but they do have 2 men on. 1 out. And we're at the top of the 5th. This comes up and away. Well, Daniel Kaler, the shortstop for the Raiders, and Carson Palmquist, a starting pitcher, they were both members of the Riverdale varsity basketball program, which competed throughout the winter. Count now full after the 3-1 comes right down the center of the plate. Both athletes were competing in their first season of varsity basketball. I do apologize, it is 1-1. Once again, we don't have a working scoreboard at Riverdale. I certainly don't want to make that as an excuse, but I just had a little bit of a mishap here on my scorebook. So it's 1-2 with this fastball getting right in. Okay, so we're sure of that now. Okay, so I apologize for that, folks, but hey, we're doing the stats up here in the press box, keeping track of everything, and for the most part, we've been doing pretty well, I would say. That's okay. 1-2 gets right in. Okay, so Seth Walker, he stood there in the left hand of the batter's box for a quick moment, and he was just standing there expecting the home plate umpire to call it a ball. But once again, it was just hanging in the zone by about a thread there, and he gets rung up, out number 2, here at the top of the 5th.
What do you mean that curved in? Yeah.
Clewiston with a 3-run deficit. Well, both Kaler and Palmquist with the basketball team, they were competing in their first season of varsity basketball. However, Palmquist previously spent time with the JV team last year. Kaler, who is a senior at Riverdale High School, decided to try out a sport that was new to him during the baseball offseason. Ball 1 to begin Joe Harville's at-bat. The basketball team, they were only able to come together for 2 runs during the previous season. Shipper back to the pitcher, Connor Sekula. Simple toss to first, where Smith is guarding the bag, and
after 4.5.
Bottom of the 5th is now approaching us at RHS. Riverdale still manages to keep Clewiston off the board. Raiders up by 3.
Minor Raider fans, Gertman!
Raiders have had momentum all throughout the course of regulation, and Tyler Gertman is hoping to keep up that flame as we begin the bottom of the 5th. Here's a pop fly, shallow center field, and it drops down. It will not be caught, as trying to reach out for it off of the left hand was the Clewiston shortstop Jackson Moss. However, he miscalculated it, and it bounces shy onto the green grass of the midfield. Matisse Bober on his way up to the plate. What a night it's been for him. 1-0 to start him off. In his previous at-bat at the home half of the 3rd, he was able to put the Raiders up on the board with a 2-run RBI out to right field. Pitch outside, throw to second, and the stealing runner is in time. It's Tyler Gertman. Tyler Gertman getting on base moments ago with a miscue by Jackson Moss to shortstop. That's ruled an E6 in the scorebooks. Matisse Bober hoping to make his way on as well. Swing and a miss.
2-1.
2-1 count. Raiders lead 3-0, and they have another opportunity to change that. Count now changed to 2-2. Really dancing around over on second is Tyler Gertman, trying to get inside the head of Wyatt Dice, the current pitcher for Clewiston. That is blasted out to right field, and that's outside of the playing field. Count remains at 2-2. No outs at the bottom half of the 5th, and 1 on for the Raiders as they are up by 3. Very young Raider baseball team, and that's why it's so great to see such great talent here on this squad throughout the preseason. Count full with 1 at the knees. There are only 4 seniors on this year's Raider Baseball Club. Payoff. Way out. Ball 4 is here. Raiders now have 2 runners on. 1 on first, 1 on second. Tyler Prell is your next batter at the dish.
Now batting, Number 7, Tyler Pringle.
Those 4 seniors on this Raider squad. Matisse Bober, Kyle Adorno, Daniel Kaler, and Jeremiah Dunnick.
Wow.
That's something else. That's even fewer seniors than last year, where the team had 5. Pro takes one, low, ball 1. Last year, they really had some successful players. 3 of the 5 seniors on last year's Riverdale baseball team went on to compete at the collegiate level. This is chopped high out the left center field. Good connection by Prell. He'll get called out. The runner over the third is in time. Close call there by Tyler Gertman, diving headfirst into third base as the throw was crazy. Just right over the head of Juan Pena, and it lands right in front of the Clewiston bench.
Now batting for your Raiders, number 39, Nelson Smith.
Nelson Smith taking his first cuts in the batter's box tonight. He is currently serving as a first baseman here in the game. However, he was not originally the first baseman with your starting defensive alignment. Connor Sekula originally began as the first baseman originally for the Raiders, and he is now the pitcher for RHS at this point of the ball game. Still the home half of the 5th. Raiders with a 3-1 advantage. 3-run advantage to be exact, not 3-1. Slip of the tongue there as a ball comes by to Nelson Smith, 1-0. Ball 2. Right now it seems as if Dice is starting to lose control a bit. He's really bouncing many of his pitches here. Well, those 3 seniors on last year's Riverdale team that made it to the college baseball level, more on them right here. A strike comes across. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. We'll start with Tyler Yeager. He became a walk-on over the past summer with FGCU baseball as he represents their class of 2020. Smith rips this down left field, and that's also out of the complex. Colin Azevedo, he committed with Division III Hiram University, located in Hiram, Ohio. It's Hiram College to be exact, which is just south of Cleveland. The distance between the 2 locations is 41 miles. Big strike 3, pardon me, comes by for Nelson Smith. He is rung up, and down he goes on his debut at-bat of the night.
Number 2, Trevor Peckham.
And Smith, he was the pinch hitter there for Jeremiah Dunnick. Trevor Peckham is back up as batter number 6 in the order. Peckham with a ball 1. Your 3rd Riverdale senior last year that made it to college baseball was Hunter Tinsley. He committed to play junior college baseball with Tallahassee Community College, just minutes away from Florida State University, home of the Seminoles. Count now moves up to 2-0. So it's great to see, even though plenty of talented players have moved on and graduated, they're replaced with well-developed talent with the team. 4-3 put out on Peckham will wrap up the 5th inning. It's still Riverdale 3, Clewiston 0.
Almost made it the whole night. Almost made it the whole night.
Chris McIntyre is the first batter for Clewiston as we have now entered the 6th inning of action. Raiders up 3-0 over the Clewiston Tigers as Nelson Smith is the new pitcher on the mound for the Raiders, number 39. Opening deal is a ball 1. The second pitch on the way to McIntyre, belted towards the first baseman, Connor Sekula, who lobs it right up for the nice catch. Down goes McIntyre with an F3 to start the 6th.
Next Tiger batter, number 3, Alex Mata.
So Alex Mata is up next. Connor Sekula, he was the previous pitcher on the bump for Riverdale. However, he was just now pulled off for Nelson Smith, as a foul ball will be the first move for Mata. So as a result of the move, Sekula will move back to first. So basically, Sekula and Smith, they switched out there when it comes to their defensive position. 1-1 now to Alex Mata. Now upgrades to 2-1 with down at the feet. Well, Connor Sekula, when he was the pitcher for the past couple of innings, Nelson Smith took his place over at first. Strike 2 comes right by him. Count out 2 balls and 2 strikes. So now Smith is the pitcher in his first inning of work. This misses high and dry for now a full count on Alex Mata. Connor Sekula, he saw 2 innings of work on the mound here in this game. Not bad. Still allowed no runs as Clewiston is still getting shut out, but giving this ball a ride out to right is Mata. It drops down at the warning track. This should be a double. Throw to second on time. It goes crazy. Straight to Daniel Kaler over at the shortstop area. He scoops it up, and just barely getting over the second in time was Mata. That's a 2-bagger with a liner out to right field.
Batting next for the Tigers, number 14, Juan Pena.
So Juan Pena, good situation for him as he moves up. Clewiston still looking for that first run. Down by 3, and the second to last inning of play. If there's a time to really spring into action, now's the time. But that was bad timing there. Pitch was knocked backwards, out of play, and Mata was making a zip line to third. Nelson Smith working hard to communicate with Trevor Peckham, the catcher. He has been sitting in that position the entire game. Stepping out briefly is Pena. Gets back to the dish. Leg whip and fire will be delayed. Smith quickly turns around back towards second base just to keep Mata close. So Pena looking very patient there, looking for the 0-1 deal. And here it comes. Oh, just barely got in by a matter of inches. 0-2. This is Pena's third visit to the plate on the night. He had a strikeout swinging in the second. He was able to get on due to an error at second base. And here he is, trying to look for his first hit of the night, although he has been on base previously. Oh, he took a wave at that, and down he goes. Peckham tags him on the back just for convenience sake. But no doubt about it, that's a punch out.
Your next Clewiston batter, number 2, Jackson Moss.
1 on, 2 down here for Clewiston. Raiders lead 3-0, top of the 6th. Nelson rips it home. And taking a massive hack at it was Jackson Moss. Can't come up with anything, however. Moss menacingly waving the bat just over his shoulder near the helmet. He has to dip backwards to the third, not in time. It goes crazy to left field. That runner is going to score. He does exactly that standing up. It is now 3-1 as Clewiston has cut into the Riverdale lead. It is 3-1. Alex Mata waited for such a long time on the base pads. His patience finally pays off there due to a miscue with Riverdale. Peckham received a pitch outside, ripped it over to third base where Tyler Perella was standing, and he got disconnected from the ball, which trailed its way out to left field. Bober tried to throw it home to Peckham, but it could not be relayed in time. 1-2 is the situation for Jackson Moss at the plate. Bases are now cleared up for him, so that should really reduce some pressure off of his shoulders. The whiff. Looks like he just got a piece of that off of the end of the bat, which keeps him alive at the plate. Another 1-2 pitch coming up in just moments. Nelson Smith doing a fine job on the mound here in his first inning as a pitcher. Kicks the left leg up high. That's a high popper going towards the Raider fan section. Down the first base line. Looks like everyone is okay down there. Some fans have tracked down the ball. And since it is high school baseball, they do have to return the ball back to the first base dugout, so no souvenirs, unfortunately. This is a high bloop to the first baseman, Connor Sekula. No issues getting underneath that one. We have now reached your home half of the 6th. Raiders now up by 2. Clewiston able to get on the board finally. We could be 6 outs away from a Raider victory. RHS is up 3-1 over Clewiston as Sekula will be the opening batter of the half inning. He'll take a ball 1 to the opposite end of his position in the left side of the box. New pitcher coming out for the Tigers. Count advances to 2-0. It's Jared Harville, number 15. He was previously the first baseman on the Clewiston defense. Hacked to the third baseman. Ripped across the diamond. Out number 1. Juan Pena now taking over at first base, and
next batter for the Raiders, number 20.
It's Xavier Medeiros over at third. So those are your defensive changes on the infield for Clewiston. Christian Boyles having his first taste of the batter's box in this game for the Raiders. Takes one low and outside. Ball 1. He has a very good eye, and that leads him to a 2-ball, no strike count. And fans, as we head towards a conclusion in tonight's ball game, we will tell you about the future dates of the Raiders as the preseason comes to a close. Regular season is just on the horizon. Next week, to be exact. 2-1 offering on the way here from Harville. Throwing off the right hand. It's spiked once again to the Raider fan seats. My gosh, you have to watch out. And once again, thankfully everything's okay. Another one on the way to Boyles. Boyles, ooh, gets under it. Out the center field it goes. Boyles 1 for 1 on the night. Coming up big here at the bottom of the 6th. Raiders up 3-1. Mason Bober, another pinch hitter on the way. Yet again, not to be mixed up with his brother Matisse Bober.
Mason Bober!
Well, Riverdale, they will jump right into the regular season next week. Monday, February 20th will be the regular season opener versus Cypress Lake at 7 p.m. CLHS, home of the Panthers. Well, that is a neutral site contest. Game 1 of the annual Early Bird Tournament at Terry Park, which kicks off the regular season every year. The regular season home opener here at Pringle Field is Friday, March 3rd versus Fort Myers. First pitch tossed out at 7 p.m. for that one. Boyles stretches his way over to second as the consequence of a pass ball from Harville. It went right through the legs of the catcher Seth Walker as he had to track it down from the backstop. So 1 on second. No outs for the Raiders at the bottom of the 6th. RHS up by a pair. Clewiston, on the other hand, they began the regular season on Tuesday, February 21st versus the Glades Day Gators, who are making the travel from Belle Glade. And that's a game at Clewiston. Another one pops outside. And those two teams will square off at 7 p.m. So it's going to be quite some time until March 3rd, the next time the Raiders are out here at Pringle Field. It's a matter of inches on this one. 3-0 count for Mason Bober. And at this point, the Raiders are just not under too much pressure. It's the bottom of the 6th of a 7-inning ball game. 3-1 as this comes right down the middle of the zone. But if it's possible, the Raiders, they just want to focus on padding up that lead a bit to make that top half of the 7th more smooth to get out of the way to finish off the action. Ooh, ripped it through the shortstop, and here comes Boyles around third. Throw home, not even going to come through. Boyles with the score, and it's now a 4-1 ball game in advantage of the Riverdale Raiders. It's an RBI single from Mason Bober.
Your next real batter, number 1, Daniel Kaler.
So Daniel Kaler, 1 on, still no outs. Daniel Kaler, another one of those patient batters at the plate. Riverdale is filled with them, and that has really contributed to their success throughout the preseason series here at RHS. Ball 1, strikes low. Next one is too high, 2-0. And now another stoppage of play as came our way. Seth Walker now approaches Jared Harville on the mound.
Early bird tournament at Cherry Park next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
And Kayla will have a few moments to himself to take a few practice swings outside of the batter's box.
We'll be hosting the Green Wave of Fort Myers High School. JV first pitch goes out at 4 o'clock. Varsity at 7 p.m.
And now that the cheap seats out in center field, it seems like all fans have emptied out of there. It's a very nice game night tradition we have here with the Raider baseball team. This comes straight to the second baseman. Throw to the shortstop for 1 out. But the throw over the first will not be in time. 1 down at the bottom of the 6th. Wolf, those 2 down. Excuse me on that.
Next batter for the Raiders, number 14, Tyler Gertman.
And it's Tyler Gertman on his way up. So once again, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Now a 4-1 ball game. After Mason Bober notched an RBI single out to left field, which sent home Christian Boyles, Daniel Kaler takes off to second base after getting on board with a fielder's choice.
That was a big jump he got. Wow. Catching there.
And Daniel Kaler, without a doubt, that's what he's known for on this team. His tendency to steal, he is lightning fast.
The ball got to the catcher's glove, he started his slide. He was off fast.
Here's another offer coming home, doesn't get anywhere close to the plate. So Tyler Gertman looking very relaxed. Waving the bat up and down over his head. A nice red and black colored bat. Throw to second. Run down on the way. It's avoided. Kaler on third. He is safe. So Kaler takes advantage of 2 stolen bases. He gets on with a fielder's choice, steals second, no problem. And it wasn't even a contest on third either.
Wow, that ball was there, really. He was already standing up when the ball got there.
So very impressive outing there for Daniel Kaler on the bases. So Tyler Gertman now facing 2 outs at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Way out, 3-1. Raiders up by 3 runs yet again. 4-1 is your score at the home half of the 6th. Jared Harville kicks the leg up, and that is just absolutely blasted out the left, and it's caught at the warning track. Very impressive blast there, but nothing comes out of it. Sides retired. Kaler left over on third base, and through 6 complete innings, Riverdale makes it 4-1.
Correction, 4-1.
Wyatt Dice moves up to the plate. Top of the 7th has now arrived at Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School. Swing and a miss for strike 1. That came from Daniel Kaler, the new pitcher on the mound for Riverdale. This one's just a bit outside. 1-1. Kaler is the 5th pitcher for Riverdale tonight. Clewiston has only had 3 up throughout this ball game. Another big swing. And he just couldn't find anything yet again. Kaler really throwing some high heat here to start this top of the 7th. Let's see if he could strike out this batter. He will not be able to do that. Wyatt Dice fighting past a 2-ball, 2-strike deal. Count now full as that almost hit his elbow. Off to his right side there. Had to jump out of the way a bit. The payoff, nowhere inside the zone. Leadoff walk coming up there for Wyatt Dice.
Batting in for the Tigers, number 16, Xavier Medeiros.
Xavier Medeiros. And his 2 at-bats on the night, he's been able to get on board both times. Back in the third, he had a base on balls. In the fifth, he had a base knock. Raider with the 3-run lead, or Raiders with the 3-run lead, excuse me. Strike 1 coming in there to Medeiros. And a little bit of a correction, Medeiros has been up at the plate only once. Back in the 5th inning with that base hit, that was Rodriguez, the pinch hitter at the time. So this is the second time of the night where he has came up to the plate, Medeiros. Kaler wasting absolutely no time here in between his pitches. He works fast, and with so much energy, he fires this into the dirt at home plate. One runner on, no outs, top of the 7th. Kaler hoping to close out the game. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Right here for Xavier Medeiros. He was originally the leadoff pitcher here in the game. Or the starting pitcher, rather, for Clewiston. So Kaler hoping to put a close out to this game, and once again, he's not one of those players that you expect to see as a pitcher, but when you're in high school baseball, you really get to step up your game in multiple aspects as Kaler brings this straight to the backstop. It's now a full count, and the runner, Wyatt Dice, extends over to second base. So payoff coming up for Kaler. Still seeking that first out. Can he get it here? No, he will not. That's ball 4. Now 2 consecutive walks that Kaler has had to deal with.
Next batter for the Tigers, number 13, Reed Martin.
So it's Reed Martin trying to assist the Tigers here and just send a message that this team is down by 3, Clewiston. But they're certainly not out just yet with 3 outs to work with remaining here at the top of the 7th. Fans still hanging around hoping to witness the end of this ball game as we are just over 2 hours in. Game started at 7:05 with the first pitch. It's now 9:15. Nothing wrong with a fast-paced ball game in my opinion. Here's another strike coming through for Martin. And that's something that's really up for debate with many baseball fans in general. I know that Major League Baseball, over the past couple of years, they have been trying to find ways to make the game just a bit less lengthy. Hack and a miss here. And it's one of those controversial topics. Many old school baseball fans will tell you that's how the game is, that's how it should be. Ooh, he got him. It was a 2-strike count there. And he missed off the swing. Reed Martin goes down. That's out number 1. 2 outs to go until a Raider victory here at the top of the 7th.
Now batting for the Tigers, number 4, Seth Walker.
Seth Walker hoping to keep things rolling. 1 out, 2 on for Clewiston as they are down by 3. And the way that Major League Baseball is trying to get a time limit going is this is out to right field in front of the Raider dugout. Beautiful catch by Connor Sikula. Now the Raiders are 1 out away from closing out the action with Daniel Kaler up on the mound. Well, what they do with professional baseball now is they have a little bit of a time limit in between the innings. My chair malfunctioned up in here.
Okay.
Gave a little bit of a tilt. Gave me a little bit of a jolt up here. It's safe to say that I am not using this chair for the next game. It is too dangerous. Well, anyways, yep, Major League Baseball, sure enough, they are really cracking down on limiting the length in between innings, and I'm still having a good laugh. This is a very dangerous chair up here. It just had a sudden tilt. It's almost like a rocking chair almost up in here. As this pitch misses, count is now 2 balls and no strikes to Joe Harville, who very well could be the final batter of this game. This just barely stretches in. There's a strike. 2-1. One and 2 to be exact. And you know, this is our second game without the scoreboard. I think we did much better.
Yes.
We did much better compared to Tuesday night. It was our first game without one. And I'll tell you, we were in